Hi guys, if you haven't met me before, my name is Lisa. I've been carnivore for 2 years now, and I've been meaning to make this video for a really long time because a lot of people always ask me, what exactly do you eat? Just a quick backstory about my health situation. About just 10, 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with the most severe form of autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis, and it took them 2 years to find a medication that stabilized me enough. And in the meantime, I had tried every dietary approach, every supplement, every natural therapy I could possibly find, hoping to heal it naturally. But in the end, even all the different drugs that they gave me didn't work until I was put on biologic drugs after about 2 years of failing every other medication. The biologic drugs were ones I had to inject myself with once a week, and then later on a tablet version of it. When it came out, I was one of the first to try that as well, and I was able to get my mobility back. So originally, over the course of those 2 years, I lost function of every joint in my body. So basically my wrists, my elbows, my neck, my ankles, my feet, my fingers, everything was seized up, like locked. Couldn't bend them out of the position that they'd locked into. So severely crippled, completely unable to walk, not able to stand on my own feet for more than about 5 minutes. And then the pain was excruciating. I'd be crying out at night. It was intense. I also had very bad painful bladder disorder, which is known as interstitial cystitis, and that had me going to the toilet multiple times a day, 20 times a day, up during the night. Very painful, very debilitating. I hadn't had a full night's sleep in 10 years by the time my doctor finally suggested carnivore to me. At the time, I had been on the vegan diet, a whole food plant-based vegan diet for the past year, thinking that that would help heal me because other people had said it had healed them. So I gave everything a shot. I really tried everything, and as dubious as I was about the carnivore diet, it sounded absolutely crazy to me. There was no way this was going to work. But I looked into it a little bit, and I watched lots and lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos and listened to lots of people's stories, and read all the comments underneath, and thought, I'll give it a go for 30 days and see how I go. And within those 30 days, I was able to get completely off all medication. My blood inflammation markers were lower than they had been since I'd very first been diagnosed, even when I was on the immunosuppressive medication. And I've been able to just function as a normal person for the last couple of years. Been rock climbing, walking, everything, dancing, everything I thought I'd never do again from the carnivore diet. So I'm just going to show you the next couple of weeks of what I'm eating, because I just got delivery of a meat delivery service called Our Cow here in Australia, and they deliver basically they call it the carnivore box, 2 weeks worth of, well, for me, a single person on my own, and 2 weeks worth of food. I guess if there's two of you, it would be maybe 1 week's worth of food. There's plenty of meat in there, and there's quite a nice variety. So I'm just going to show you my day-to-day diet. There's no strictness as far as how much I eat or how often I eat. I just eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full, and just do that as often as I need to. At the moment, I'm only really doing 2 real meals a day. Sometimes I might have a tin of sardines or a chunk of butter, or occasionally some cheese or yogurt or something else in between if I want something extra, but that's really not very often. The sardines is probably the most regular thing. I do eat them quite a bit, and I always carry a tin of sardines in my bag, because if you're hungry and you're on the go, like, that's when temptation comes up. Keep a tin of sardines in spring water in your handbag, and a little fork, some salt, food on the go. I call it my carnivore fast food, and that will get you out of a pinch and satisfy that desire for nutrients if you need to when you're on the go. Otherwise, welcome to the next 2 weeks of my eating Our Cow carnivore diet on a day-to-day basis. I hope you enjoy it. Frying up some yummy eggies. Woohoo! My meat has arrived. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Let's see what's inside, and if I can fit it into my teeny tiny fridge. Thank you, Bianca and Dave, for my awesome meat. I'm going to cook some up right now. I'm so excited. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's not very carnivore. They put a chocolate in there. Okay, might have been a bit of miscommunication here. Okay, look at what is in here. Oh my gosh, so much goodness. Butter, everything. Okay, I'll read you the list of what's inside this box. Okay, we've got 2 grass-fed rib fillet steaks. We have 4 grass-fed rump steaks. We have 1 grass-fed beef chuck steak. We have 8 grass-fed beef paleo burger patties. We have 3 500-gram packets of grass-fed beef mince. We've got 1 500-gram packet of free-range chicken thighs. We've got 2 packets of half a kilo, 500 grams grass-fed beef and liver mince. Yum. 1 500-gram packet of grass-fed lamb rump steaks. Yum, yum. 2 packets of 150 grams of nitrate-free streaky bacon, and a thing of butter, and a jar of grass-fed ghee. That's a total of 7.53 kilos. So if we take away the butter and the ghee, it's probably about 7 kilos or just over 7 kilos, which equates to about 500 grams or 1 pound of meat for every day.
Like literally at least a couple of weeks worth of food for me.
Good news, it all fits. I'll put some up there. It's not really a freezer, that freezer. It won't freeze things, it'll just keep things cold. They'll definitely last a couple of weeks in my fridge, which is great. No freezer required. Yay! First thing I'm going to cook up is the chicken because it's the earliest use by date, 5th of April. And look, it even tells you where it comes from. Elgin Valley Farm, free range chicken, Glasshouse Mountain. So it's all locally sourced. How cool is that? With chicken, don't take any chances. I haven't had chicken for ages. This is going to be fun. There it is. My carnivore version of Kentucky Fried Chicken, crispy fried in lard, salt, and a little bit of pepper, and it is so yummy. I got 2 packets of the beef mince with liver, so because liver doesn't last very long in the fridge, I'm using that up. So day 3, I had it yesterday as well. I'm just putting 2 eggs, lots of salt in there, a little bit of pepper, and I'm mixing that all up to make my very big hamburger patty. I'm cooking my liver and mince hamburger patty with this beautiful ghee. I've never cooked with ghee before, but it came in the carnivore box from Our Cow too, and it's also from Lard Ass. So yeah, really tasty, really yummy, and that's made from the cultured butter as well. So good. Made one big huge hamburger patty and cut it into pieces. Yum yum. So I made 4 patties out of that one huge fry pan full, and I've eaten 2 just now, and the other 2 I'll munch on later on. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now, and I'll have those around 5. That's about half a kilo, and yesterday I ate that with the 2 eggs in it, and honestly I was stuffed. Like, that was all I needed for the day. Absolutely delicious. They taste even better when they're cold, when you put them in the fridge. Here's another thing that came in my Our Cow carnivore box. Lard Ass, gotta love the name. Cultured butter. I've never tried cultured butter before, but oh my goodness, you can see I'd just sliced a chunk off with the knife and just ate it. And look, I've already gone through like over half a block of it, just because I can't stop eating it, because it's just the yummiest. It's like caramel to me. It's just so tasty. A chunk of that after a meal, so good. If you haven't tried cultured butter yet, I highly recommend it. Way better than an after dinner mint. It just sends me into raptures. This is actually my second bit. I took up another chunk just before. Actually cooked outside, took the little stove outside, even though it's really windy and rainy, and I'm standing in a couple of inches of water, just this is so wet out there. But I still refuse to cook inside the caravan, especially now because I'm in this process of purifying and keeping it closed and dehumidifying it. So, and I'm cooking liver, stinky, so I did cook it outside. And I do usually use my cast iron pan for when I'm cooking steaks and stuff, but this one, it's called Green Life, ceramic coated. It's not my favorite, but if I want things that are going to be a bit sticky and messy, like hamburger patties with egg, I tend to use these ones. And if I'm just frying up eggs, I've got a little small one that I use as well. They're better than Teflon. I don't know. People say they're okay and they're healthy and whatever. It's better than Teflon, but it's not as good as cast iron. But they're pink, so you know I'm a sucker for pink. I do love these, and they're really easy to clean. Like you can basically clean it with a paper towel. The trick is you've got to keep it on a really low heat, otherwise they do get a bit burnt looking. But yeah, I've had these for years. They're great. They're good non-stick, easy to clean. I think I got them off Amazon or eBay or something, and they come in all different colors. So someone can let me know. I've asked lots of questions about this, like what about ceramic coated, and generally people say it's okay, but I don't know why, but I'm just sus on, well, how did you get it to stick there, you know? Like, I still think cast iron or stainless steel is better, but if you really want non-stick, this is better than Teflon. This is my other little one. That's the one I fry up my little eggs in. So delicious. It's actually stopped pouring down rain. There's just sort of this kind of drizzly, misty kind of rain, not rain thing that's happening at the moment. So, and it's not windy. It's kind of really calm. So I'm cooking outside and I'm cooking in the cast iron. Day 4 of my Our Cow Carnivore box journey. And this is the next up on the to be used by grass-fed lamb rump steaks. 570 grams, and I will eat them all. Oh my god, they smell so good. One thing I'm loving about this Our Cow is there's no bones in any of the meat, so the weight that you're paying for is the weight that you get to eat, which is great. I gotta say, those lamb steaks were so delicious, like so tender, cooked to perfection. Thank you, Lisa. I've just eaten 2 now, and I'll put 2 in the fridge and save them for later on. That's my trick, always have cold meat cooked in the fridge. I actually prefer it sometimes cold because the fat's all kind of hardened and it's yummy. But I just cooked that in a teeny tiny little bit of lard because they were quite fatty, so I didn't need to really add much to it at all. But oh, real meat, you can really taste the difference. I'll tell you what it's like. It's kind of like the difference between like fruit that you buy at the supermarket and then fruit that you eat because you're at the orchard and you pick it off the tree. Have you ever done that and gone, oh my gosh, this tastes so different? That's what eating this meat tastes like. Like, it's literally a world of difference, and I'm so satisfied after those 2 beautiful lamb rump steaks, and I've still got 2 more to go for later on. And I also had 2 eggs earlier on today. I did my egg souffle with a lot of that cultured butter in it. I just whip it up with a little potassium, cream of tartar and salt, and whip them up and I melt the butter first in the microwave, then whip it up with the eggs and the salt and the cream of tartar in 1.5 minutes in the microwave, and it makes an actual souffle. So that's what my earlier meal was. That was around 11:30 a.m. I think. I was a bit like, I'm a bit hungry, I'm going to have some eggs. Okay, today, day 5, I'm going to have, it's plain mince this time, and I've got 2 packets of it. So 1 packet I'm cooking up now, that packet I will have tomorrow, and I'm going to do a little bit something different. I've actually smashed up some avocado, and I'm going to have avocado on top of that, and a little bit of grated mainland cheese on top. The reason I like mainland one is because it's the only one that says on the ingredients actual rennet. A lot of cheeses these days have non-animal rennet, and I did a bit of research into that and wasn't really happy about what that is and who makes it. So yeah, something a bit different. My little washing machine is singing a song to me, meaning my laundry is ready. Yeah, I don't eat avocados very often, but every now and then I do, and the same with cheese. It's not a regular thing. I've probably haven't eaten cheese for like a few months, but every now and then I'll just add a bit of cheese. Sometimes I occasionally have berries if they're in season and they're on special, and I mix them in with some cream cheese or yogurt. Those are sort of extra things that I have in my diet, as well as just meat, butter and eggs. But again, not regularly, not daily, just every now and then. And there you have it. That's my version of a taco bowl. In the meantime, I'm cooking up that extra 500 gram packet of mince now so that I can put it in the fridge and have it tomorrow. I've got all the windows and the screen door behind me is open, and it's just easier cooking inside at the moment, because if I cook outside in the middle of the day I get flies. I don't like flies, so I thought, well, I'll kill 2 meals with one stone, cook this second batch up, cool it down, put it in the fridge, and that way I can make another taco bowl for tomorrow. That was so filling. I've only eaten like half of that bowl and I'm full, so I'm just going to put the rest of it in the fridge. It's about 1:30 now. That's my first meal of the day, and I'm probably going to have more around 5 o'clock-ish or whatever. But anyway, next time I get hungry, I just basically just eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full. I don't have a set time that happens. It's just whenever I feel like it. So that'll be later on tonight or this afternoon when I get hungry again. Very satisfying, very filling. This is a really nice fatty mince. You can see it's sizzling there. I haven't had to add any fat to the pan at all. It's just sizzling in its own juices right now, so it's going to be even better cold. I don't know if you remember when one of my carnivore videos from ages and ages ago, and I was really super excited because I got this pair of size 4 US jeans up at the op shop, and they fitted me, which is size 8 Australian, and now they're like too big on me. I just went to the op shop and I found a pair of jeans that were size 6, and I was like, well, let's see how we go. And they actually fit really well. I really like the colour. Sometimes I like wearing natural colours. I'm not always in pink and brights. Yeah, cotton on, size 6. Let's try them on. I'm not losing weight. I'm just sort of shrinking in size. So I don't know. Don't want to show you too much, but oh my gosh, I love them. Chuck the pockets in. Buttons it. Too easy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Super cute. I love them. How good is that? I'm a size 6. I've never been a size 6. Like, even when I was a teenager, I wasn't a size 6. Loving the carnivore diet for that. Yeah. Check out that butt. Woohoo. I feel so good. And I actually ended up just giving a whole bag of clothes to the op shop. These jeans were $8, so bargain. And I was just like, do you take donations? And I had this huge bag of clothes because I've just gone through everything and gone, anything that's too big is just gone. And yeah, making room. It just feels really good, to have that clean out of stuff and feeling healthy. And I really think that rebounder is going to really help. Like, just, yeah, I'm excited. I'm feeling good. Let's see what's next in my... Look, I put the base of the air fryer in there because I cooked up some bacon last night and I couldn't be bothered washing it. That's my solution. I just put it in there and wash it some other time. So next on the list, I do that with rubbish too. Look, see, stinky rubbish that I don't want to fill up my rubbish bin. Next on the list is this one. Chuck steak. Oh, chuck steak's always a bit boring, but it's either that or another mince. So let's go with chuck steak. Oh, still got another whole packet of the bacon in there. Honestly, I cooked up the whole packet in the air fryer and ate it last night. It was 150 grams. These are all the really nice steaks up there. Oh, some of them are actually freezing. That's surprising. My freezer doesn't usually freeze. Yeah, we'll go the chuck. I mean, maybe I've always been a bit snobby about chuck steak, but that's because it's usually not the bestest cut, but this one might surprise me. Let's give it a go. That is one very big chunk of meat. It was actually already cut in the middle, so into 2 pieces, but super thick. That's it flipped over. It's kind of separating into different pieces. I know chuck steak is usually better off in a slow cooker, but
I'm too impatiently hungry right now to be dealing with slow cookers, so I'm frying it up. Lots of salt. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, perfectly cooked it too. I'm so good at the medium rare thing. And I put a big dollop of cultured butter on top. Not tough at all. So good. This is actually really good for a chuck steak, which has me really excited to think about what the rib fillet that's in there is going to be like, because I haven't tried the rib fillets from here yet. And this is only half of it, so same thing as what I've been doing with the previous day's meat, being about half a kilo of meat each time. I am eating one around, I don't even know what time it is. It's hungry time. Usually around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, between 12 and 1 is when I first start getting hungry. And I eat this one now, and then the other one again around 5-ish usually. Yeah, I'll put that other one in the fridge and have that later on. Melting some butter to make some fried eggs. Oh, crack the yolk. Dang it. There we go. Sizzle, sizzle. Oh, come on. There we go. Woohoo. Yum. Today I'm going to try these paleo beef patties. So I've got one going in the air fryer right now, and I've still got 2 more packets, but I'm going to cook these whole 2 packets, so 4 patties all up. I'll eat all 4 of those today. I just ate that one paleo patty that I'd done in the air fryer, and honestly I'm just not won over by the air fryer thing. It just doesn't taste the same to me, and so I've put the other 3 in a pan. I'm just gonna cook them up the old-fashioned way. As you can see, there's a lot of fat coming out of them, and I haven't added any fat to this non-stick pan, so that's just all just coming out of the burgers. And I did notice they are slightly shrinking in size, but I won't waste that fat. I will pour it into a container, put it into a fridge, and just eat it later on. It's raining again, and we are not impressed because Pixie wants to go for her afternoon walk, and so we've got to walk in the rain. Yay. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go walking in the rain. I saw you with him walking in the rain. You were holding hands, and I'll never be the same. You want to eat your bone, or do you want to go for a walk? What do you reckon? I think we should go for a walk. Let's go. Let's go for walkies. Sizzle, sizzle, looks good. This absolutely ginormous rump steak. Look at the size of it. I think that's only 1. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. Okay, luckily that was 2 pieces of meat stacked on top of each other. I was going to say, otherwise it would take a long time to cook. So yeah, 2 big, 340 gram each steak, rump steaks, so that's definitely a 2 meals job here. Put a big dollop of butter on the top of each of those. Actually, they kind of, I cut them into smaller pieces, and I'm just eating one, and it's really yummy. That's how I like it cooked, medium rare. I've eaten most of it, but I just wanted to show you how I like it cooked, medium rare, very, very seared on the outsides, and nice and tender in the middle. I think it's day 10 now. I'm losing track. I'm just going to cook the other half of this. I've already eaten one of those a couple of nights ago, but I'm going to put it in the air fryer and just eat it now as a bit of a morning breakfast, which I don't normally do, but I've gotten up a bit earlier than usual, so I'm going to eat that now. I just did that for 10 minutes on 180 in the air fryer, and it's just perfect, really crispy in the bits and yummy. And I'm going to eat it. 150 grams of bacon, and I'll eat the whole lot. So bloody good. And today I'm having a very special treat. It's a
plain Greek yogurt, no added sugar, no fillers, no gluten, no nothing in it, and it's lactose free. So 100 grams of that. I probably do that maybe a couple of times a week, 2 or 3 times a week maybe. I love a bit of yogurt. It doesn't seem to do me any harm. So but yeah, be really careful with yogurt because a lot of them have got all sorts of fillers and things, and you just want it as plain as possible. So the ingredients should be milk and culture, and that's about it. This one's a really good one. So it does have some carbs in it. Carbohydrates per 100 grams, 2.9 grams. That's pretty negligible, really. It's not going to kick you out of ketosis in any way, shape, or form. And I just think that dairy minerals are a really good thing to have, like especially for me trying to increase my bone density. I have actually been diagnosed with osteoporosis, which in my 50s is kind of sucky. I was diagnosed osteopenia like about 10 years ago, and then with the rheumatoid arthritis, it advanced quite quickly, and on the medication I was on prednisone for quite a long time, which was bad. So it became osteoporosis about 2 years ago. So, and yeah, they said to me I had the bones then of a 76-year-old. So that's why I'm, you know, I do add a little bit of the right kind of dairy to my diet. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of yogurt, sometimes some cream cheese, lactose-free cream cheese. I really like that too. I remember before carnivore, if I'd ever tried plain yogurt, I was like, oh, it's so sour, you know. Whereas now it tastes like ice cream to me, because I'm just, yeah, my sugar senses in my tongue just think anything that's not, you know, savory is sweet. I think I'll go the mince. Just keep it easy. I think I'm going to just make one of my big hamburger patty things. I got some organic eggs. Yay. So I'm just going to mix 2 eggs in a bowl. Some salt. So I haven't had any eggs today. Normally I have eggs earlier on in the day, but I had that bacon instead, so just sprinkle salt in there. And this is 511 grams of mince. These are the, I use the compostable doggy doo bags that I bought in industrial quantities because they double as rubbish bags and doggy doo-doo bags. That's gross. I'm going to remind myself it's Friday. Friday is fill the water tank. I don't have an automatic tap. I have to pump it manually like that. And the tank always lasts me exactly a week. So like clockwork, some stage in the next couple of hours, next time I use it, it'll start running out. So I have to remind myself. Fill the water tank. For some annoying reason, the outlet, the power point outside shorted when I was trying to cook these outside. So unfortunately I've had to bring them inside. Just, you know, I've opened the window and the door and let some airflow through. But the good news is my dinner is ready. So they kind of didn't hold together quite as well as the liver ones did, but that's okay, it'll still be yummy. It's basically steak and eggs in a different format. I've been out busking today and I've worked very hard, so I'm going to treat myself to this delicious rib fillet. Oh, I'm excited about this one. I've been saving this one because I know it's going to be good.
The only way to cook rib fillet is in lots of butter in a cast iron. Ready to eat with a big dollop of butter and lots of salt on top. One of the other things I eat quite often, usually earlier in the day, sort of before my main meal, is a tin of sardines. I like these ones the best. I've tried all sorts of ones, but I find these ones are just nicer because they're smaller, and the smaller they are, the more palatable they are. I get them in spring water, and the trick I find is to keep them in the fridge. I always have multiple boxes in the fridge, and I keep them upside down because that way all the oils in the packet end up on the lid and you can just lick it off. That's pretty much how I eat them. So there's the tin open, and you can see what I mean by all that oil accumulation on the lid. I'll peel that whole lid off and just lick it, and then I slurp the spring water, the fishy spring water out, sprinkle salt on it, and just eat it with a fork, and it's really good for you. Day 12 of my 14-day Our Cow Carnivore box. Obviously the sardines are not included in the box, but I just wanted to show you that I do eat other things besides just the meat. Love it. Yeah, I probably eat these maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It's one of those things that I just always have on hand, and I try to eat them 2 or 3 times a week just for something extra and good calcium because of the bones. The other thing I do take as far as supplements, and again, you know, if you're eating healthy, good meat, you shouldn't really need supplements at all, because you're getting everything you need nutritionally out of this diet. Believe it or not, I know people find that really hard to believe, that you get all the nutrients your body needs from just meat. It is possible, but because of the fact that I had serious autoimmune conditions that I'm healing from and osteoporosis in my 50s, I do a couple of extra things, and I have iodine drops once a day in a glass of water, and I also, and that's just because oftentimes, you know, just the way of the world, we're sometimes deficient in these things. And the other thing I have is a vitamin supplement called Caruso's. Got it from Chemist Warehouse. It's a vitamin D3K2 complex. I'm probably getting enough, so I still got this thing that I had. I'm probably getting enough D3 from the amount of sunlight I get, because I do go and sit out in the sun whenever I can, especially in the early morning. Great for healing. But the D3K2 combination just makes sure that I'm getting enough, and it also helps with the actual absorption of D3 and calcium into your bones. K2 is really essential for that, so I have that every day as well. That's pretty much it. I used to have so many supplements when I was on the vegan diet, so this is a huge improvement for me. And yeah, I will go and get a bone density test done because it's been 2 years. I had one done just before I started carnivore, and that's when they said I had the bones of a 76-year-old, and that I would need, you know, another one in a couple of years. So I will get one soon, and I will do an update, obviously, with all my numbers for anyone who's interested. But meanwhile, this was just really just this is what I eat, and using this great resource, which is the Our Cow Carnivore box that gets delivered to your door. And you can just put it on subscription, so it just regularly repeats every whatever frequency you want. You can order a one-off box with your own items in it if you want to do that. I've just opted to go with the carnivore box because it was just easy, and it comes with butter and ghee, and you know, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so far. I've only got 2 days left of it, and it's been great. This afternoon we're having, oh, it's a big one, 724. I think we might have some for breakfast tomorrow as well. Some massive rump steaks. Look at them, they take up the whole fry pan. Sprinkled with some beautiful coarse salt. Day 13, it's 11:30 a.m. and I'm about to cook up my microwave souffle egg, and I just want to show you, I use organic butter. Butter and eggs is one thing I'm particularly fussy about getting in organic, because there have been studies done, and the nutrient value of organic butter and eggs in comparison to the regular stuff is quite significant. So they're two items that I do actually splash out. I'd love to be able to afford organic meat, but I can't really justify that. I use a fairly big dollop of butter. It's probably about 25 grams according to the measurements on the side of, they put little, oh, you can see little measurement things, and it's probably about half of the 50. That goes into my eggs. So I probably eat around 50 grams of butter, like 2 of those every day with the eggs and the steaks, and then sometimes just cutting a chunk off and just eating it because it's yummy. Butter is a big part of my diet, so I'll melt that in the microwave for 30 seconds. I put a paper towel over the top of the ceramic bowl just so that the butter doesn't splatter everywhere. I also chop it up a little bit, makes it easier to melt. Once that butter is melted, I put about, I don't know, maybe 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is a good source of potassium, if you want to know why I use that. And it also, I don't know, it seems to make the eggs go super fluffy. Maybe that's the butter. The more butter. You can also use bacon grease, is really yummy in this eggs, or lard, or any kind of fat you've got leftover, beef fat or anything like that. I like my salt, as you know, salt on everything. You never get too much salt when you're on the carnivore diet. Don't worry about, you know, blood pressure and all that kind of things. Like, those things only matter if you're eating carbs and sugar. If you're just eating a carnivore diet, salt. Doesn't hurt. Human beings have always craved salt. I remember seeing a movie years ago, I think it was called Beautiful People. When I was a kid, our school class went to see it. And it was all about animals in the jungle and stuff. Very cool movie. Anyway, there was one scene there where they were showing how monkeys find the salt like inside these rock kind of caves, and they'll stick their hand in there and try to grab the salt, but then they make a fist and they can't get their hand back out again. When I lived in Sri Lanka, and the monkeys used to always, if you were like eating at a like restaurant, I don't know, cafe type thing, they didn't have glass in the windows, they just have bars to stop the monkeys coming in. And the monkeys they'd hold their hand out and they'd give you this look like, moo, 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 and they'd make this sound. They were hoping you'd give them some of your food. Anyway, one time I was like 12 and I gave this monkey some food, but then I grabbed his hand. I think it was because I'd seen that in that movie. Anyway, the monkey went like, changed his personality from this little sweet moo, moo, to this like scary monkey. And yeah, monkeys can be really scary. I could tell you some stories about my interactions with monkeys in Sri Lanka one day, but that's a story for another day. Let's get back to these eggs. Trick with this is I use a really heavy fork. The more you whip it, the yummier it becomes, the lighter and fluffier it becomes. And now it's in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's about 1.5 minutes all up, but my microwave is really low watts. It's like 600 watts. So if you've got like a 1,000 watt microwave, you might need to do it for less. But do 30 seconds and then I'll whip it up again a little bit, because it tends to cook more around the outside and takes longer to cook in the middle. So I find that if I do 30 seconds and it's starting to cook around the edges, whip it all up again, and then I put it in for another minute after that. See how it's kind of going cooked around the edges? Whip it good. It also helps the butter and the egg combine a bit more, because it will tend to separate after that first cook. I thought, it's nearly the end of this video, I better show you how I actually do this egg thing. That way, if you know, if you want eggs in the first part of the day and then meat later on the day, if you want to make it 3 meals, you could have the eggs and then, like what I've been doing with the meat, half of it at one point and half of it later on. Just eat as much as you want. There's no calorie restrictions on this, you know. If it looks to you like I'm not eating enough, then eat more. Like, I'm a fairly small human, so I do weigh 54 kilos. I've been pretty much consistently this weight, gone up and down a little bit, especially in that first sort of year, but definitely this year been pretty much consistently at that weight. And honestly, it doesn't make any difference how much food I eat. In the beginning, in the early days of carnivore, I pretty much just ate round the clock, because I didn't want it to feel like a diet. I didn't want to feel like I was depriving myself. And I ate every kind of meat under the sun. Like, I had chicken, pork, lots of bacon, steaks, mince, roast beef, slow cooked beef. Like,
I just always ate lots of food constantly, especially during the first sort of probably 3 months. I was eating a lot of cream cheese, like a whole tub of cream cheese on a daily basis, because high fat's really important. I can still do that. I can eat a whole tub easily. In fact, I really like that, Greek yogurt, and I was buying that in the little tubs for a while, and then I was like, oh, I could just buy the 1 kilo tub because it's cheaper the more you get. I'll sit and eat the whole 1 kilo quite easily. Dairy is very moorish. You have to be careful with it. So that's why I only buy those little tubs now, and I allow myself, like I might, every time I do go to the supermarket, I'll buy maybe 3 or 4 of those. That's my washing machine. Singing me a little song. Love it. All right, I'll see how these eggs are doing. There it is. Super light and fluffy. If you're into cheese, you can sprinkle a bit of cheese on top. I do that every now and then. If I buy a block of cheese like I did recently, I pretty much just eat like 50 grams or so or more a day. Sometimes I'll eat 100 grams. I just eat it until it's gone. And then I don't buy it again for probably another 3 or 4 weeks, really, because cheese and me, we love each other too much. So nothing wrong with it. And like I said, I've been eating like huge amounts of dairy, and it hasn't affected my rheumatoid arthritis, and it hasn't made me put on weight. But it's one of those things, you should test it yourself and see how it works for you. But I'm going to go eat these eggs, and then I'm going to hang up my washing. Last of the meat, and it's 4 of the the last 4 paleo packets. So there were 2 with 2 each, and each packet is 250 grams. So that's my 500 grams on my last day. Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is what I drink on the carnivore diet. I'm quite lucky because I've never been a tea or coffee drinker. Never in my life have I drunk. Very occasionally tea, herbal teas, but never ever got the coffee habit, which I'm really thankful for, because I know it's one thing that a lot of carnivores really struggle giving up their coffee. And most carnivores don't give it up. They just keep drinking it and say it's okay. Look, to me, it's just a really bad addiction. And I kind of knew that really young. I was looking at how other people were so dependent on their coffee, and I was like, I don't want to ever be like that. So I don't drink coffee at all. So the only thing I do drink is water. And I'm really lucky because where I am at the moment, and I've been here for a little while, I'm actually getting, you can probably see it right beside me, there's the top of a water bottle there. I have a water bottle dispenser, and they deliver to me every 2 weeks 2 15-litre BPA-free water bottles of natural artesian spring water. It comes up through the mountain and through heaps of rocks, and it's just the most beautiful mineralized, naturally alkaline water. I'm so thankful for my water. It's one thing I love about being here, and one reason why I stay a little longer, because for me, having a good source of water is just living healthy water is so important. When I'm on the road and I can't necessarily get that kind of water, I use a Grail filter, and these are great when you're out hiking and stuff as well. So it basically works like a coffee press. You put the water in. I marked the mark there because there was a thin plastic line you couldn't really see, so I used a marker to put them, fill it up to there. You put that inside, and you've got to make sure the lid's off when you do it so the air can come out. You push it all the way down, and that will filter out everything. Like, you can even be in India and scoop up a puddle and drink it from these. They're amazing, and the refills, the cartridges, you just refill them when you get them. So that's the Grail. I think this one's called a GeoPress. There are different sizes ones, but this one's the bigger one, and I love that. The water is really good. It's not as good as living healthy, fresh spring water. If you can get your hands on that, that's better. I don't drink anything else. I don't drink like diet sodas or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much just water. And another thing with the water is, it's very traditional to sort of have a glass of water with a meal. Don't. When you're on the carnivore diet, don't do that. You don't want to dilute your stomach acids and let them do the best job at digesting the meat and getting all the nutrients out. So if you need water, just a little sip, but wait about 15 minutes until after, like after I've finished a meal, and about 15 minutes later, then if I'm thirsty, I'll have a full glass of water. I drink probably, well, this bottle, 15 litres, lasts me to 1 week each bottle. So it's about 2 litres a day I'm drinking. I'm also putting it in Pixie's dog bowl, so we're both drinking that water. But yeah, around 2 litres of water a day to just keep everything hydrated and healthy. If you're interested in trying our cow for yourself in Australia, I think they deliver just about everywhere. I put the link in the description. And that'll get you $50 off your first order, and it also gives me $50 credit as well, so you can keep me in the meat as well as yourselves.